Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Concord Township Board of Trustee meeting for March 1st, 2023. Would you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Can I have the roll call, please?
Yes. Mrs. Lucci?
Present.
Mr. Dodendorfer?
Present.
Mr. McIntosh?
Present. Okay, with that, looking for an approval of the minutes from the February 15th, 2023 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the February 15th, 2023 regular trustees meeting minutes.
And I will second.
Any discussion?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. Okay, elected officials report. Mr. Jim Tekinen, fiscal officer.
Thank you, Chairperson Morgan. I ask that the trustees vote favorably on two items I have on this evening's agenda. The first item is the February financial report. The second item is a resolution number 2023-05. I also want to mention that in preparing the 2023 annual appropriations, it has been a very fast-paced learning experience. I want to thank all those who patiently helped myself and my staff too, Cindy, in preparing the budget, especially Andy Rose, Cindy Sadler, Mr. McIntosh, Fire Chief Zabel, Mike Bedell, Service Director Brown, Recreation Director Supler, and of course the rest of the trustees. It's been a really good learning experience. Every day I'm feeling a little more comfortable and look forward to really working on this budget and other things in the township. The 2023 annual appropriations came together in good fashion, I feel, though it appears to be slightly tight. It's a tighter budget than I would like to see, but it should be manageable, and we'll work through these items on the budget as the year progresses. But this concludes my report, and again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustees report, Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, since our staff meeting and appropriations workshop on Monday, I've had time to kind of reflect on what that means for Concord, and sort of what I took away is, it's a lot. We have a big township, and it takes a lot of resources to maintain the quality of life that we're used to here. And like most things, I think it requires a certain kind of balance in our decision making and our ability to prioritize what is necessary and what is not. Our department heads, our fiscal officer did a great job in helping us determine those priorities and maintain that level of service that we expect, and to also manage that in a fiscally responsible manner. But like just even running a cemetery, we have to determine, what kind of plots we need in the future, what kind of space we need now, how to maintain the cemetery, and it's not cheap. Our service department, maintaining our roads, plow trucks, getting salt, and determining how much salt we need this year, and if we buy too much, where are we going to store that? Recruiting and retaining staff in our service department, keeping them equipped with what they need to do to continue to provide the level of service that we're used to. And that's not cheap. Recreation, determining what community events our residents want to engage in, what education would be helpful, how to get people outside to be healthier. Putting community events up is definitely not cheap. How to keep people informed, the mailers that we send out, thinking about how to keeping people informed with a mailer is not cheap. We consistently prioritize safety in our township. Law enforcement has always been important for us, and maintaining that level of service so that we can keep our residents safe, we can retain and recruit new officers, allowing new businesses to want to come here and feel safe, giving our law enforcement officers the equipment that they need to do their job, to have great response times. That's not cheap. And of course, our firefighters. We need to give them the resources they need to do their job, to help us to remain healthy, to retain and recruit firefighters, to give them the training and the equipment necessary to effectively do their job, which of course costs a lot as well. So all of this with, rising costs of living, inflation, supply chain issues, material issues, balancing all that, helping our seniors stay in their homes, the ability to attract new families here is just a lot. And I think it is the responsibility of all of us here in our department, our staff, this board, and also the residents. It's their support that's necessary to collectively give us what we're used to in this township. And so I think it's important to understand that, balance. I feel so fortunate to live in Concord Township, and I think, thinking about our future, it's important to bring those issues up. Those were my thoughts on that. Aside from that, I was contacted from an HOA here in Concord who needed some assistance with communications and First Energy. And thanks to Andy and our liaison, Wendy Zeely, we were able to help them with those communications with First Energy and help them out with an issue they were having in their development. Another resident reached out regarding some issues regarding the Cannerwood development. They needed some help, and thank you to Heather, Dave Radashi. It was actually put it on the agenda last night for the Lake County Planning Commission, which I did listen in, and hopefully things are moving forward for that community as well. And last, I did attend the Ohio Township Association Leadership Academy, where last month the presentation was on land use zoning, which 10 years ago I never thought would be something I would love to see, but it was actually very informative and very interesting. So with that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Yes, so earlier in the week, it's been a busy week. We had the annual staff meeting and our annual appropriations workshop. Trustee Lucci hit on a lot of important points. I mean, we've done a lot of work in the past year. As our fiscal officer has indicated, it's going to be tighter in the future, but we are diligently working towards being fiscally responsible, not only this year, but in the future, in the plans that we have, for a fire station and safety needs in the future, and a lot of other points that I won't go over again that Ms. Lucci pointed out. But we did a lot of work on it. It takes all of us, as well as the residents of the community, to support our initiatives and to guide the township further. So we did a lot of work on that, and I thought it was very successful. I had a couple calls since the last meeting. I followed up with one resident who needed some clarification on the new septic inspections from the health department. They're going to be required. I know Administrator Rose is going to touch on that in his report, so I won't go into depth on that, but I did close that loop. Had a concern from an HOA regarding it seems to be some increased accidents on a main roadway in Concord in the Menor zip code. So I spoke with Sergeant Falvey about some enforcement efforts and maybe the speed trailer there to try to deter some of the speed violations that may be causative of the accidents in that area. So I spoke with that resident on that, and Sergeant Falvey is going to help us out with that. It was nice to see Katie from our design team in here for a surprise little visit so we can get some further updates on the fire station project on Station 1. So that's moving forward. We're excited about that. There's a lot of work being done over there. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. Well, I would like to echo the remarks of both of my fellow trustees. I mean, and Mr. Tekenip, our fiscal officer. This was probably the most interesting or difficult appropriations, I think, in the last couple of years when we had a new fiscal officer to come in a relatively short amount of time and get his head around the budget and understand it. And we had department heads that had to work with a new fiscal officer. So it took a little bit more effort than it ordinarily does. I think we really took for granted how thorough the job Amy Dawson did. Just kind of handed us everything, all creases ironed out. And this year we had to do a little more ironing on our own. And Jim had to learn all of that in a short amount of time. So I want to thank him for his effort. He definitely put in rolled up his sleeves and worked hard on it. I know at times we had some conversations. It wasn't an easy task, but we got through it together as a team, and I think we have a lot to be proud of this community with the staff that we have and the leadership here. Sometimes these things are just never easy, but you get through them. I did attend Mayors and Managers meeting with Administrator Rose this month. And actually interesting to that point, since the conversation of local government fund is now floating around with the municipalities, I was very stunned, but one of the municipal individuals did comment to Mr. Rose and I that, well, you guys are growing. I mean, you're many times the size we are and you have population. So it's sort of interesting and refreshing. I didn't expect that comment coming from the cities to look at us and say, recognize the challenges that we have finally after some of those city township battles that we tend to hear about. But again, further to the point, we do our appropriations and we've got a lot of challenges, at least it's recognized. I did have a complaint from a resident this week about some trash, and I talked to our service director. With springtime, it's been windy and we've had some nice days, and it's always easy to notice those things. And so, we'll ask people to try to be tidy with their trash on trash days. I mean, I've seen it in our neighborhood, and there's construction around, so just try to police up your trash as you can. We want to keep Concord beautiful. I did notice last week that the Lake County Gazette published some incorrect information about the fire station and/or fire levy. There was a comment in their article that suggested a plan was overturned in 2019 that included a Station 3, and while the township did a study, chief, back in 2007, something like that.
2017.
Oh, 2000 for a third station?
It was all inclusive of
Okay.
everything.
And it was determined we're not doing a Station 3. We did address that during the stakeholder meeting.
Right.
So there's no Station 3. And the numbers that they threw out was a $28 million bond. And that is not an accurate figure. While the first effort to pass a bond levy was defeated, it was not that large. So speaking of the fire station, I did connect with Chief Sabo and walk across the street this morning and got a tour of the progress. Since everything's closed in, it's hard to track now what's going on over there, but you can take an understanding of the drawings that we've all seen and you can start to see it coming together. Right. We don't have drywall yet, but you can see the spaces very clearly. There's electrical being run and some drywall starting and painting starting. So it's starting to come together and look like the finished product. So it was really enlightening, great to see. There was some concrete being poured. It's great weather today. So very pleased with the progress and very anxious to get this completed and behind us. I also did receive a call this week, or last week, I apologize, from Dr. Robin Strosecker, and she's the CEO over there at Tri-Point Medical Center, and there is going to be a $1.8 million investment in the Tri-Point Medical Center here in Concord Township. It's going to include a 4-2 level 2 NICU suites are going to be added to the Tri-Point facility, and all of the neonatal care is going to be moved, consolidated from Lake West to Tri-Point, and so all of the birthing and everything will their hospital system is coming out to Lake County, or out to Concord Township. So excited to see that they're investing in that. It's one of the great parts of our township to have that, and again, another thing that demonstrates what a growing and vital community Concord Township is. So. With that, concludes my report, and we'll move into the department reports. Administrator Rose.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh, members of the board, Mr. Technip, members of the audience, good evening. I'll start with a few items on the agenda. Item C is a vote for a change order to the fire station. This change order installs a floor drain into the training tower. The cost of this is a not to exceed price of $54,731.90. One of the things I'm very proud of is that we're, pretty far along and out of the ground on the station, and this is the first change order, which indicates that we're doing very well in that regard. So I would request a favorable vote there. Items F and G are votes to reappoint members to our zoning commission and BZA respectively. So I encourage a favorable vote for Mr. Reppert and Mr. Sweeney. As you know, we were out for bid for the service department storage building, and we had a bid opening earlier today. A little bit disappointed. We only received 2 bids, and both of those bids exceeded the engineer's estimate by more than 10%. So once we get the formal write-ups from the engineer, we will likely, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, we will be rejecting those bids. Service Director, Mr. Brown, and I we're going to go through it with the engineer and evaluate these bids, figure out where the high points are on this. But even when in talking to my counterparts in Northeast Ohio, and talked to the architect when she visited here a little bit ago, this is just another indicator of the unpredictable costs in construction right now. Contractors are trying to bid, they're sourcing prices, the vendors for all the various materials for steel, concrete, and all. They're only holding prices anywhere from 10 to 14 days right now because the market's so volatile. And by the time you go from bid to contract award to starting the project, that's usually a couple of months to get all your drawings finalized and approved by the building department and everything. And if no one's holding prices, then it's too volatile. So then they start packing on additional costs to protect themselves, and it throws the bids out of balance. So we're gonna take another look, sit down with Mr. Parker and see where we can go from here to try to figure this out. As Mr. McIntosh mentioned, I was very pleased when I heard the news about UH Lake Health making the significant investment at Tri-Point Hospital. They're upgrading the birthing unit, they're consolidating the birthing unit, 2 level 2 NICU rooms. So we greatly appreciate their investment in our community. And I'm actually meeting with Dr. Strosaker in 2 weeks. We're getting together for a How Goes It meeting just to see how everything's going. So we're plugging in, making sure things are good. As Mr. Dondorfer alluded to, there have been several questions and inquiries regarding a $100 fee associated with those residences that have a septic system. I had a long talk with Dan Lark from the Lake County General Health District last Friday. There is a newer $100 fee. It's an operator permit that's charged to the homeowner for operating a septic system. The permit's good for 5 years, so every 5 years you'll get that $100 fee. The county health district is rolling this out so that they can stagger everybody, so you don't have every household coming in every 5th year, but they're rolling it out at about 3,000 to 4,000 houses per year. One thing that they wanted to point out is this was a requirement that came from the state of Ohio. They consider it an unfunded mandate. There was some regulation from the state of Ohio that came down that's forcing all the health districts to implement this with septic systems, and there's no help or relief from the state. So if there's any questions, you can contact the Lake County General Health District. Their direct line is 440-350-2543. And they will be happy to discuss that with you. So that's what's going on with the septic issues. And then finally, on a personal note, I'd like to send a shout out to Chop, and I'd like to thank him for his support. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
Fire Department, Chief Sabo.
Good evening, everyone. So for the month of February, we had a total of 203 incidents, including 136 EMS events with 101 transports. We had 67 non-EMS events. We were busy in the fire side of things. Inside of Concord, we had 2 events, 1 grass fire and 1 car fire. Outside of Concord, we assisted with 5 events, including 3 house fires, 2 structure fires, and 1 grass fire. We ended the month last night with by providing mutual aid to the city of Madison, or Village of Madison, for at Burger King, which was a total loss. The firefighters really did their best to get a hold of it, but the fire was just going too quick up in the attic space. So We gave mutual aid 21 times, we received mutual aid 12 times, and we had 65 overlapping calls, accounting for about 32% of our call volume. We did assist the city of Willoughby with fire investigation, and also part of our fire events, we did send an engine to the Willoughby apartment complex fire. And they were deployed to Andrews Osborne as a lot of foam was on fire, flying in the air and landing on their property and on their buildings and on their grounds. So that was quite a large event. The Fire Prevention Bureau, I'm proud of these guys. They keep busy, and they're out in our businesses and keeping everyone safe. They had 63 total inspections, accounting for 40 hours. They did 8 plan reviews, accounting for about 12 hours, and used about 10 hours for continuing education. They installed 9 residential lock boxes. So these are boxes that are mounted to your door. Fire department is the only ones that has access to that box, and inside that box is a key to your house, so that we don't have to bust down the door if we don't get an answer and you're in distress. So we did have 3 of those boxes returned at the end of their use. On top of all that, they were out providing community education. So they did fire extinguisher, fire safety, and first aid training for a manufacturer. That accounted for about 73 people. They did fire extinguisher, fire safety for healthcare employees with about 34 people. And we have a team of CPR and first aid instructors that go out in the community and do CPR classes. They did a CPR and first aid course to the Concord Motorcycle Club. That was about 18 people. And a Stop the Bleed, they went to Riverside High School and performed that program for the mechanical design students. There was about 14 people. So we are out there, we're working it, and on top of all the other events and our increased call volume, we're still remaining engaged in the community. Next week, I'm honored to, every year the Ohio Fire Chiefs does a winter symposium. This is an opportunity for fire chiefs across the state to meet with our state legislators. So I'll be in Columbus on March 7th and 8th, meeting with Representative Callender and Senator Serino, and just discussing issues facing the fire service and EMS service. So I'm looking forward to those discussions. Lastly, I got to give a shout out to the firefighters and paramedics and EMTs that we have. You know, it's our job, right? So that's what we all talk about, is our job. It's our job to go out and provide service, and we just do it. But I got to tell you, I ran some numbers today. We have seen a huge increase in pediatric calls, and these are hard. These are tough calls. A lot of our firefighters have kids the same age, and these are sick kids that we're running on, and including an infant that went into cardiac arrest, and we were not able to resuscitate. And that's just devastating for the family. It's devastating for our responders. But you know what? These guys, they pick it up and they keep going. They go to the next call and the next call and the next call, and not thinking of themselves. And so I am just forever grateful. Just to give you an indication, so pediatric incidents, and that's from 0 years old to 18 years old, and from January 1st to February 28th in 2022, that age group accounted for 3.5% of our call volume. This year, we're already at 10.4. We're seeing huge numbers, and you know, we're here to take care of them and provide the best care we can for them. But man, I just want to give a shout out to the firefighters and paramedics. They're doing an outstanding job, and I couldn't be more proud of them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Service Department, Tim Brown.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The Service Department for the month of February responded to one snow call out applying approximately 50 tons of salt.
One call in
Mild
February.
February.
One.
The department also responded to a downed tree blocking Fay Road. During the last month, our crews restored our basin repair trailer, adding all new wiring, lights, wood decking, and fresh paint. We also assisted the fire department with the restoration of their trailer that hauls the Gator UTV emergency vehicle. Cold patching, ditch maintenance, and mailbox barricade installs are some other tasks done by the Service Department in the month of February. Our operators and crew leaders attended an annual excavator pipeline safety training course on February 15th. The class is a refresher on utility markings, recognizing hazards, and what to do in the event of an emergency. The 2023 Joint Road Resurfacing Project was awarded to Cole Burton Contractors. The roads being resurfaced in Concord Township are Jamie Drive, Kenneth Drive, Brooklyn Way. These roads will be a asphalt mill and fill type project. Huntoon Road, Rogers Road, and Gray Road will receive a milling and with an asphalt intermediate layer and a chip and seal with fog coat surface course. A total of $569,891 into the township asphalt roadways this year. A pre-construction meeting will take place mid to late March. Start date hasn't been determined yet. The Service Department will offer the yard waste drop-off at the Service Department beginning on April 3rd from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The drop-off will be offered until June 5th. Residents with questions, concerns are encouraged to contact the Service Department Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at 440-350-3225 or by email at concordtwp.com under Service Department. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. And this evening, we have a substitute zoning report being given by Administrator Rose.
I have the zoning report for the month of February. Thank you, Mr. McIntosh, members of the board. Zoning department report for the month of February. The zoning department staff processed 28 zoning permit applications and collected $5,100 in fees. Additionally, 46 zoning certificate of compliances were issued. The zoning staff received and followed up on 15 new complaints about potential zoning violations. And then finally, just a brief reminder to our residents, as you start to consider your spring projects, many of you may be thinking about swimming pools, fences, sheds. Please contact the zoning office or view the township website to find out what the requirements are for those yards projects prior to construction. And the zoning office's number is 440-354-7506. And that concludes the zoning report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll have the substitutions continue, and Susie Cobb will be doing the recreation report because Mr. Supler is under the weather this evening.
Definitely under the weather. Good morning, or good evening, everybody. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me come in and fill in for Sean this evening. We are extremely excited about everything that's going on in the recreation department right now. We've been busy planning for a few more spring events, plus all of the things that are going to happen during the summertime. So we have lots of please save the dates. Our annual Easter egg hunt will be held on Saturday, April 1st, starting at 11 a.m. sharp here at Town Hall. It is a very fast event, so make sure you're here before 11 because it will be over a few minutes after 11. We have other things planned, but the Easter egg hunt itself will be very quick. Also, we're excited to announce that Concord's Community Day will be held on Saturday, August 12th. There will be a lot more information to come out on that as we continue to plan, plus some new additions, especially in Kids World, so be on the lookout for that. And the concert series are being finalized as we speak, and they will start on Thursday, June 8th, and will go through Thursday, July 27th, and they start at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall at the Gazebo 2. The full schedule will be released in the next couple of weeks, so please stay tuned for that. it's exciting time. We are having some really fun events that we're planning for youth, for our kids here in Concord. And a couple of the programs. One is we are excited to announce an addition to new preschool and youth programming. There's going to be a preschool learn and play held on Tuesdays in April, and then also on Tuesdays in May, April 11th through the 25th and May 9th through the 23rd, starting at 10:30 a.m. in the morning for about 45 minutes at the community center. This instructors will be in-house staff who will focus on a variety of activities related to art, movement, language, math, and science. I happen to hear them planning behind me all the time while we're at work, and they're very excited about this. So join us as we help your little ones gain confidence, expand fine and gross motor skills, and socialize with classmates while having fun through individual and group play. This is a very exciting time. And then we are also excited to share that we have a new rookie sports program club that we're going to do. We will have soccer will start in April on Wednesdays in the evening time from April 19th to May 17th, starting at 5:30 for ages 3 through 4, and then also at 6:30 for ages 5 and 6. Rookie Sports Club utilizes fun games and activities to teach fundamentals to beginning soccer players. Coaches focus on teaching the basics of dribbling, passing, scoring, and the concept of game playing. Proper sportsmanship is emphasized, which we all know we need, in a positive and encouraging atmosphere, enabling children to enjoy learning soccer while also having fun and being physically active. As I know was mentioned earlier, Mrs. Lucci, thank you. Each week we will include both developmentally appropriate instructions as well as recreation and non-competitive gameplay. And then we're having baseball starting in June. There'll be t-ball for ages 3 and 4, and then coach pitch for ages for the higher ages. Again, they will be level appropriate for them, filled drills with their ability to develop their skills in catching, hitting, running bases, fielding, throwing, and much more. Modifying games will be played each week as well. We will need some parent participation in this, so we encourage you to come and join your kids as you do this. We do expect that these programs will fill up quickly, so please make sure that you get registered early. The rookie sports, you can go right online and register for it right now. Preschool, we have to do it through our office at this time. Our computer system is not allowing us to do the online registration. It will be soon, but we're testing a new program, so you'll have to call our office, which is 440-639-4650. I also would like to announce that on Monday, tomorrow, my whole day will be spent with the photos from the photo contest. This is one of my favorite things that we do in Concord. There will be more information sent out via email and also posted on our Facebook page and our website for voting. We have some amazing pictures. If I had to guess, I would probably say we have a good 100 pictures or so that residents have.
That's good.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
That's awesome.
So please be on the outlook for more information about that. Our senior programs is extremely busy. Tracy and Rachel are always focused and getting what our seniors need at this time. Today we had Chris Galloway and Michael Zurin. They came and spoke about savings for seniors. We did have this recorded. It will be put up on our YouTube page and our website here in the next week or so. So if any senior wants to listen into that and wasn't able to be there, that will be available. Next Wednesday is movie day. They're going to watch A League of Their Own. So come. It's March 8th at 1 p.m. And then on March 22nd is Bingo, which we know is a huge hit. At 1 p.m. too. So please make sure that you register ahead of time so we can make sure that we have seats prepared for you. Lastly, we would like to encourage everyone to continue to sign up for the e-Grapevine so you can be notified of all the updates and new programs that are coming out. This went out, it goes out usually on the first of the month. It did go out this morning. If you have not received that, give us a call. We'll be happy to add you to the list, and also to get you a copy of this month's. And it will also be on our website tomorrow too. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Susie.
Rec department's not slowing down, maybe even picking up.
They're not.
A lot of new programming.
I hear new programming in there for little ones.
And last but not least, Sergeant Falvey with our law enforcement report for the month.
Good evening.
Probably not slowing down there either, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. For February 2023, the Sheriff's Office recorded 1,085 calls for service. Of those 1,085, we had 2 injury accidents, 7 property damage accidents. We arrested a female for domestic violence and assault, an adult male for obstruction of business, an adult male for possession of meth and drug paraphernalia, and an adult male for possession of drugs, mushrooms, and marijuana, and 3 warrant arrests. We responded to 41 alarms. We issued 22 traffic citations and issued 163 warnings for various traffic violations. We conducted 72 business checks and 117 crime prevention checks, which is a lot of neighborhood checks and residential checks for people who are out of town. Some of the to allude to what Chief Sabo said, we did have 1 death investigation regarding the infant that passed away. 7 disturbances, 3 domestic situations that did not involve an arrest. We have conducted 21 traffic details that we recorded with a record number. This number is probably higher. Not every deputy does pull a number for traffic details. What those consist of, because I know we've had a lot of complaints in the area, are deputies who are specifically targeting certain areas for speeders and other traffic violations that people have complaints about. Some of the locations that we have recorded the numbers are Girdle, the Hunt Club, Brightwood, Auburn, and Andrea. The traffic trailers have not been out lately because the salt destroys them, but the weather is starting to lighten up, and I will start getting those out here very, very soon. We did have 1 weapons complaint where a male allegedly brandished a long rifle at a neighbor, and that was sent to the prosecutor for review. The deputies have recently conducted search and seizure training as part of our continuing education, and also hands-on defensive tactics training. Flock cameras that are going to be erected within the township are on par still. It's still a ODOT issue. The language has been changed where state routes are going to be allowed to have the cameras erected on the right-of-ways. Now they're just trying to streamline and get it done as quick as possible, the permit process with the state. So I've been working very closely with them. It sounds like it's in the right direction, but like everything that's new, the state has to figure out exactly the proper way to do this, and we're getting there. But we're not out any money because the contract money does not start until the cameras are up. So it's not like we're paying for them and that they're not up. Deputy Peterlin is one of our newest deputies. He just got off training, so he's on solo patrol now. He came to us from Madison Township. Our app was redesigned. We have active traffic cameras on there right now, and there's quite a few on 90 and some on 44, and I believe Route 2 has one. So those are on there. And if your pet's missing, whether it be dog or cat, you can send in your missing pet, and it will send out an alert to users that opt to turn that specific alert on the app. We also did some community outreach with the Girl Scouts from St. Gabe's. They did a tour of our agency, and we did some dusting for fingerprint activities with them. Then we went to Hope Ridge and visited the Boy Scouts and did some show and tell activities with them, and had the canines out there. And that takes care of that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'd just like to thank you, Sergeant, for mentioning the updates on the app, and I like to plug that one. I use the app myself a lot. Get a lot of alerts about I mean, if nothing else, knowing it's
Road closure.
road closures is great, but other things as well. Definitely crime prevention and being aware is something worthwhile. So really encourage residents to use that one. So moving on, the agenda this evening, audience portion. Anybody in the audience? Seeing none. Old business, which we have none. So we'll roll right into the new business of the evening.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve the February financial report.
I'll second.
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 ayes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve Resolution 2023-05, permanent appropriations.
And I will second.
Any conversation?
Covered a lot of that. I mean,
Yeah.
we did, you especially and Jim did a lot of diligence and, going through the budget and different accounts and making sure we're where we need to be.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. All in favor?
Nope, that's a roll call
Oh, the
vote,
roll
I'm
call?
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask. Okay. Can I have a roll call on that one, please?
Yes. Mr. McIntosh,
Yes.
Mr. Dondorfer,
Yes.
Mrs. Lucci.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, the change order.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve change order number 1 for fire station number 1 in the amount not to exceed $54,731.90 for the training tower floor drain.
I'll second.
Kind of something we've been grinding away for a while on.
Yeah.
We understand it. It's important. So,
Yep.
any other conversation?
Well, not to exceed, so it may not be,
May not be.
Right.
that
might
much.
not be that whole amount.
And I know
We're hoping that if everything goes perfect, it should be in the 40s. If everything goes nice, knock on wood, but if everything goes smooth and to plan, the 54 includes a contingency if it doesn't.
Okay.
So.
And any further? Roll call.
Yep.
And can I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. McIntosh,
Yes.
Mr. Dondorfer,
Yes.
Mrs. Lucci.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve Fire Department promotion of Alex Kensinger to part-time probationary firefighter paramedic effective 2/14/2023.
And I will second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve the fire department PO to Health and Fitness Equipment Centers in the amount of $31,194.46 for fire station number 1 exercise equipment.
I'll second.
I will just add, was during my tour today, did get a chance to stop and get a sense of that space, and I asked the chief quite blankly, I said, Chief, are we going to use this space a little bit more than we are now because the spaces that they have are so cramped? And he said, absolutely. So health, and when you talk about the stresses that the firefighters undergo in the job, it's important. I know it sounds kind of, exercise equipment, but it's critical to the job they do. And we're going to finally give them what they deserve as far as the ability to do that. So, thank you. Any other? Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move to reappoint Hiram Reppert to Zoning Commission effective April 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2028.
And I will second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to reappoint Francis E. Sweeney Jr. to Board of Zoning Appeals effective April 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2028.
I second.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 ayes. We're appointing people out to 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We have a 5-year term.
Wow. All right, and with that, Mr. Tekenev, can you please read the future meetings and announcements?
Yes, I can. March 7th at 7 p.m., a zoning commission meeting will be held at Town Hall. On March 8th at 7 p.m., a BZA meeting will be held at Town Hall. On March 15th, there will be a trustees' office hours which will be conducted from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Again, that'll be on March 15th at Town Hall in the conference room. And lastly, a trustee meeting will be held that same day, March 15th at 7:30 p.m. at Town Hall.
Okay. All right, thank you. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting. Good evening.
Thank you.